But specifically, I guess on the like impact of AI and cybersecurity, one of the big things from this year was kind of like the EU action plan that the EU announced at the start of this year, in January of this year, to strengthen cybersecurity of hospitals and healthcare providers, and to set up, I mean, kind of like this a cyber reserve, so that the hospitals could kind of leverage all of that skill sets, not just not just locally, but across all of Europe. But there's more than that, I guess. Like there's also like NIS2 and other like EU regulations. Maybe you could dive in a little bit into the regulations and the EU AI Act and how that is going to affect the healthcare and pharma industry.
So the European AI Act, it classifies healthcare AI systems at high risk. That means every model, from diagnostic tools to patient monitoring, must be transparent, must be explainable, and privacy compliant from my perspective. It's not enough that the AI is accurate. Regulators also care why it made a certain decision. So doctors and patients must be able to trust it. They intersect direct. Also, it will intersect directly with the other regulations, like you mentioned earlier, and also GDPR. It's one of them, and medical ethics. So patient data is most sensitive category from my perspective. We've seen cases where vulnerable large language models accidentally extracted private information, and it's about being careful how you use it, what transparency it offers you, what kind of trust, and of course being able to have the as much technical accuracy as you can there.
And I guess sorry, go on.
No, I just wanted to add, if AI helps, for example, I just giving an example here, if AI helps analyze trial data but isn't secured properly, a breach could cost millions and could also have a bigger impact, having delays in life-saving drugs or other things like that. I'm referring here on the pharma industry, where we are doing wherever the research and development department it's using it. It's really about being careful, and we've seen SOC teams flagging insider anomalies at 2 a.m. AI make it possible, helping you to do it faster, but human oversight made it meaningful, let's say. So there must be a balance at the end. Being used with human oversight will be, from my perspective, the best way.
Yeah, definitely. I would say like healthcare is one of those industries where whenever there's a breach, it kind of becomes front page news. I mean, we've seen this like in Ireland with the HSE attack. Like when I lived in Finland for a while, and one of the attacks in the hospital there, kind of like this psychology hospital, and all of the records, the private personal records of that hospital were leaked onto the dark web, or like ransomed on the dark web, and it ultimately caused the shuttering of that entire company because, shall we say, the confidence was lost. It's kind of a unique like space to be working in, and maybe like then this uniqueness brings this like challenge for the security part of like how the human impact and like the analyst workflows are different or unique, definitely in the healthcare and pharma industry. So maybe you could talk a little bit about that, like how has this like impacted SOC operations for healthcare?
So in our SOC, I like to say that AI it's a force multiplier. So it helps us doing the job faster. It helps us review millions of logs across, let's say, hospitals and pharma networks in seconds. For example, when you want to check patient record access or a data record access, because you will not know exactly what kind of data you have there until you get them classified. AI might flag that someone accessed the files outside her department. So it's not usually something that that specific person is doing. So that's great speed. AI identified the anomaly, but it still takes a human to check whether she was covering another shift or doing something malicious really. So that's the way that I was explaining earlier, that it's good to be in a balance. Having human oversight, the AI technology will help getting the proper results. We can call this human in the loop principle, and where IA it accelerates, but judgment protects. The human judgment is it protecting the to not take inappropriate actions whenever AI will flag them. Another strong case, let's say, whenever you monitor OT devices, devices that medical devices could be other type of devices, AI can detect, for example, when a machine suddenly starts sending data abroad, or it's getting to do unusual connectivity to other external addresses. So we can isolate it in real time. Uh, the automation with AI combined will be able to do it really fast. But human decide whether that device is critical for ongoing care. So you cannot count 100% on that. If you are going, for example, it's a medical device and that medical device is treating someone, or it's a critical device for a specific healthcare organization, cannot be isolated automatically. There must be some processes before being isolated. So AI gives analysts more bandwidth for complex cases, and human oversight ensures that patient safety and ethics will remain intact there. That's my view on that.
Yeah, it's definitely like, again, just because it deals with like life and death situations, it is a very like difficult environment, and I think it is a clear example of like where you have to have, as you said, this human in the loop, and relying on the completely AI automated systems. While AI is a fantastic tool, it's not going to solve every problem, and I think this is maybe one of the takeaways that companies should take is AI will not solve every problem, and like it's judicious use of AI and making sure that you still have the humans at the end, where you have the doctors. AI may, shall we say, bring forward, hey, this is what I see, but you still want to have that doctor there, that is making that ultimate final call. And it's still very much the same on the security side, that you definitely need that human that is making that ultimate call of, is this a true positive or false positive? Because I guess like the environment in hospitals is very different from like offices, where where you could have multiple clinicians working on a single device at times. If there's only one, if that device doesn't support profiles and so forth, so you may have multiple users of a single device under a single login. I mean, there are many stories of patients seeing sticky notes attached to screens where the username and password are like on that. So I think also maybe cybersecurity kind of security awareness is really important as well, because of course the doctors and nurses and all the clinicians are very good at their particular skill set, but maybe they don't have that depth of knowledge and when it comes to like cybersecurity best practices. Yeah, so maybe just to move on, I want to talk a little bit about some of the challenges that we've talked about, and we talked about like a number of problems and issues, but then let's talk a little bit about like a roadmap or a set of solutions that a company could start to take into use. Maybe Alex, you could give me like, what are your key kind of like takeaways or like ideas for a security roadmap that I guess we haven't talked much about pharma, so maybe we could start with pharma. And like, what are the key things that they should be thinking about and working towards in their security roadmap?
So if I had to summarize the roadmap in 3 steps, I will start with mapping AI use cases against compliance and patient safety for healthcare organizations. Don't just ask can we use AI? Ask should we, and under what controls? What are the regulations that we need to meet for using it? Using AI to automate repetitive investigation tasks, so let humans to focus on decisions that matter for them. Incident triage, impact, escalation, let them choose what is the pain point, let's say. So you can use it whenever you have repetitive investigation tasks, or even if at internal or is not just related to the SOC investigations, because SOC will investigate based on what he can see within the security tools. There could be other investigations carried on the healthcare or pharma organizations, because we are discussing about them right now, and building resilience against AI powered threats. So we now see ransomware groups using AI to craft perfect phishing emails, to use to negotiate the ransom and so on. So defense, from my perspective, must be equally intelligent, must play on the same, let's say, on the same game.
Yeah.
As a short example, let's say I will add here AI tools automatically detects unusual data transfers from imaging devices or lab systems. In one case, AI model flagged that the diagnostic server was suddenly sending large volumes of data to unknown destination. So because the alert was caught early and escalated quickly by the security team, in this case by the SOC team, they prevented a potential data breach there. It showed how combining the AI detection with human response, which make the difference. So if we are discussing about pharma, let's say you are developing a new drug and losing data from your research and development will be a big impact within the organization. So here AI was practically helping to do it faster. As faster you was able to prevent potential data breach, you lose fewer data, you will be affected fewer for sure. And let's say as a practical resilience tips from my end will be replace and harden your outdated systems. Fewer entry points means fewer doors open. Make phishing simulations a habit, not a yearly checkbox, let's say. And not only phishing simulation, also the security awareness must be high. So, judging by the fact that an AI model could speak normally like any of your colleagues will do, it's harder to be catched. And the security tools without AI, which are not having AI implemented, or any let's say SOC model operations without using this part will be hard to identify, and it will take more time. We have big delays to identify an insider threat which is trying to spread within the organization. And the last one will be from my end: keep security, data, and AI teams in constant communication. Communication is playing an important role within any organization, so it closes gaps faster if all the departments will be able to communicate better within with each other.
Maybe I will throw in one more one that like I always like to, whenever I'm talking to customers, like I always talk about Murphy's Law. So anything that can happen will happen given enough time. And I think this is really important for companies to like internalize and to understand that no matter how good your security controls are, no matter like how good your compliance is, no matter how good your training is, you're going to have a problem at some point. It could be an insider threat, it could be either malicious or accidental insider threat. But the bad guys are going to get in. And then it is all about how do you respond? And then after you respond, just as important, how do you recover? And so kind of my key takeaways, companies these days are starting to get much better at this respond part of, okay, hey, they're in particular, like they're outsourcing their like MDR, their managed detection and response, to a company like SmartTech, who are of course very good at this naturally, and so the response is very good. But the recover part is not always so well thought about, and this is maybe a key learning I would give, a key suggestion I would give to all companies, like I think this, not quite in the healthcare industry, but the Jaguar, very prominent, at least right now in the industry, in the wider industry, this Jaguar Land Rover issue where they've been offline now for more than 5 weeks, the entire company effectively taken offline, all of production facilities. And I would say the reason for that is like they didn't plan the recovery well enough. So getting breached is going to happen. It is about then how do you respond quickly and how you use AI and humans to respond quickly. But then to go beyond that, okay, if they do get in, how are you going to restore the full functionality? And that's something that you really have to like practice. There's nothing better than like a live fire drill when it comes to recovery and trying out recovery, because that's the only way. That's what's going to happen in the real world. So maybe that's my key suggestion when people are thinking about security roadmaps and what to invest in, is invest not just in tabletop exercises, but also in kind of like recovery simulation activities. Okay, how would we recover the server? How would we recover this endpoint? Are you certain that your backups work and so forth? Great.
Yeah, I actually have something to add here. So in order to stay secure, you don't need to focus only on the, let's say, preventing the attacks, doing proactive actions on this area. You need also to build resilience. So you need to be sure that whenever this is something for the organizations, either not matter if it's a healthcare or pharma organization, it's for everyone. So ensuring that your organization can stay secure even when the disruption is happening, because as you said earlier, will happen. Sometimes will happen. It's not something that someone could avoid. So building this resilience and ensuring that you will be safe even if it's happening will be, from my perspective, the main focus that must or any organization must have.
Yeah, completely agree. And like having that expertise, having that like working with somebody who's been there, done that, through that, through those fires, is like really, really important for companies. Great. I think we are just about out of time. So again, want to thank you very much, Alex, for your time today. Been fantastic as always to have you and have a conversation with you. So thanks very much. And I guess we will see everyone in. Oh, just to say also, thanks everyone in the who's watching online right now. Just wanted to share that some good news that joining this webinar, now you've automatically been entered into a raffle that we are holding here in SmartTech for the 0-Day Con. So 0-Day Con is the largest cybersecurity conference in Ireland, and it will take place next year on the 26th of April 2026. And thanks for joining. You've automatically now been entered into that competition. And good news, we do have 2 more webinars coming up, focusing on aviation and food and agri. And if you join those, you get additional entries into the draw as well. So with that, thanks again, Alex, and thanks everyone for watching today.